Just walk across that, up the draw, and then up on that ridge. That's good luck right there. We keep hearing birds to our left and our right, but this one to the right sounds like he may be slowly working his way in. You never know. But that's one thing I've found. You let yourself be known and then get quiet for a while. They may come. They may come in quiet, so you gotta be careful. Patience, patience, patience. We heard birds all around us, but they weren't interested. At this time, I think they were still henned up and coming anywhere near us. And in the meantime, you know, we're out here trying to call birds, so I called several in. They just happened to be kind of tiny. Oh, I made him mad. We got birds in the area. I heard these toms. I heard this one. He started to get hot. He sounded like he was about 100 yards. But it was another 30 minutes before he finally poked his head over the ridge. This guy came in very cautious, and when he started walking away, I could just barely see him. I just soft called. And that was what it took to get him to come back. So now here comes the point where you start breathing heavy, and your heart starts beating, and you really get nervous and excited all at the same time. I knew I had this bird close, and I knew there were two of them. Now, I was in a spot where I was kind of buried over behind the hill, saw just the top of his head, not enough to shoot at, and then he disappeared. And then when I knew he was going away, we had one more chance. The only chance we had at this point was just a little soft purring, some contented hen saying, "Hey, don't go away, we love you." And I thought, okay, here he comes. And I saw he was nervous. I could tell that he was a little bit nervous about the setup. He's coming back. He finally got the courage to put his tail feathers all the way up. I'm sure he was afraid there was another big tom around somewhere. He didn't see one. He got comfortable. He was in love. And then he started coming on in. I saw a little bit of the top of his head. Then I saw the whole magnificent animal. At this point, it was time to put some meat in the freezer. Oh, that is a beautiful textbook hunt. Make sure he's, yeah, he's not good. Thank you so much. Hey, here's the part where they say, always thank the landowner.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Man, was that a beautiful, 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 beautiful hunt. I know there were two birds because I heard them, and I did not want to shoot and not see the other bird.
Yeah.
By the time I saw him, he was alone.
Yeah.
And I thought, it's time to do this thing.
Absolutely.
But is your heart beating as fast as mine is?
Awesome.
Matt Fields. Yes, sir. Talked to you on the phone. First time I met you, we were talking about turkeys and other stuff.
You said, man, I got this farm in Washington County. That's about all you had to get out of your mouth. Next thing you know, I got invited out here to hunt, and we got set up. I heard birds over here. We heard birds over here. We heard birds over here. We heard birds over here. Now, one thing that I did was I set up several hen decoys. A lot of times I don't like to put a tom out there or a jake out there because it can create a situation where they have been spooked or beat up. I've seen jakes beat up big mature toms. So I try not to create the conflict any more than I have to. I try to create a situation where you got a bunch of hens saying, hey, sexy baby, come on over here.
Exactly.
What we did at that point was make some noise. We let them know we were here. But they categorize that. You know, their brain's about that big. There's certain things they can do. They can see and they can remember where they heard a hen. When they're 500 yards over here or 600 yards over here and we make a noise over here, they categorize that. There's one over here. He's got a built-in GPS system where he knows where that hen is. And you said, what would you have done?
I'd have moved 3 or 4 times but for the amount of time that we sat here. I've learned more in these 3 or 4 hours this morning in turkey hunting than I've learned in the last 3 years.
What did you learn today, just by watching?
Patience, like you were saying. And I think I have a tendency, like all young turkey hunters do, have a tendency to call too much and move around too much. And these birds this year, all year, have been finicky. You can hear them everywhere. You just can't make them move. And I really would have probably moved 2 different times, tried a couple of different setups.
That leads to frustration.
Exactly.
Sometimes.
Yep. So just sitting here, and you know, we took a break or 2, and you just kept saying, "This is where we want to sit. This, I really like this. I'm not ready to give up here yet." And we're hearing the birds, and they're talking a little bit. So we just hung with it, and it paid off.
Those birds that we heard way over there, they didn't move. I know they were hens. So there's 2 birds, and they gobbled their heads off, and then they stop. But if you do have a setup that works, and you know they frequent the area, and you do make a sound and know you're there, and you don't have to call all day long.
Right.
A lot of stuff I did was subtle. Now at the end, he was walking away.
Yep.
Then I just gave him a tiny, quiet little, please come back.
Yep.
And he did.
He did.
And guess what? Oh, I got meat in the freezer. I'm gonna thank you again, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Glad to have
you. Say we're going fishing now?
Actually, yeah, just right over the hill, maybe 100 yards.
I hate my life, but I guess we'll have to.
I guess so.